Hi, this is Pat, and good afternoon or evening. We are going to be doing a new quilt today. It is called Panel Frames. Now, how many panels do we buy and we never know how to complete them except just put a simple borders around them? Well, in this case, this is what we've done here. This is the new pattern. See how cool that is? Look at the top and the sides. It has a little indentation here, an extra way of doing it. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. And if you would like the panel, or if you would like the pattern, please give us a call or stop in soon, because I've only got like 6 or 7 of these right now. More are coming in, okay? What we do then is, first of all, this is the material that you get. This is a panel material. And what you do is get one panel, and then we're going to be trimming it down. Hi, this is what we did. We cut this panel down, and what I did was, to make it to my size that I needed to cut down for the pattern, I cut it 23 inches wide and 41 long. The first step in the pattern that we do is called a coping trim. And what that is that the black fabric is 1 1/4 inches wide in this case because of what I cut here. And we will sew that along the outside of all the edges.
You do what you want.
Okay, now this is the black coping strip that I wanted to show you that I put around the outside of this. This is the panel. This is a strip that you go all the way around the outside. Then the next step is you take 1 1/2 inch fabric, the width of 1 1/2 inch, and I've used the plain white in this case. On my ones that I showed you before, I had black fabric with the flowers on it. So then I added that 1 1/2 inch strip all the way on the outside of this, okay? So now I'm going to sit down and show you. We cut the outside border fabric. We cut the other fabric for the second border. And on that, you are cutting 3 1/2 inch squares, marking the diagonal line across the center so that we can add that to any of the corresponding fabric that you want for the second border. In this case, I chose blue, so we'll go to the sewing machine and we'll sew on the red line. Let's do a few of those so I can show you how that works. There are 2 different sizes that you work with. One size would be for the sides, and the other side is in the top, okay? And all you do is sew right on that red line that you made, the diagonal line. And we'll sew a couple more, and then I'll show you how we cut that open, okay? We trim it down. Okay, now we've got a bunch of those already sewn. We take out our pins so that we don't get them in the area. We'll go over here to the cutting mat, and what we're going to do is trim off that one edge. You see how this is made like that? We're going to trim off this. Put your ruler down on the 1/4 inch line on that red line that you've drawn, and trim. So you end up with this. Then we go to the iron, quickly iron that open, using our wool mat to make sure that it goes really nice. And you end up with this. Now what you do is, with the ones on the tops and the bottom, you're going to have the smaller one. Plain fabric like this. you would add that to this and sew that down, and you will make the top and the bottom. Now, using the longer piece and the longer ones that you made of this strip with the triangle type block that we cut out there, we'll trim that off, again using the 1/4 inch. We press that open, and then you see this is a longer size. Now these will be done, put those together, so let's finish that. Okay, now we're back and we're going to be doing some more sewing. I took the long piece here, the longest of this section that we just made, sew them together. So we put that right on the top there like that. Go to the sewing machine and whiz away. And then we do the same thing with that short piece that we had and the shorter one of these. Put those together and we sew that. This actually quilt goes together very quickly. As you can see how fast we can sew. Then we turn around and we take this and we trim that. And we, if we can hit the pedal right, we'll get it sewn. There we go. Now, because I'm working with the shorter one here first, then we take the other short one that we have. And then we turn around and put that together with this one. Just make sure that you've got the half triangle going the right way so that it ends up looking like this. You see how that is? This one here and this one there. Then we turn around and we sew these together. And we'll be back in a moment. Okay, now we've got these all sewn together. You can see this is my shorter piece, and this is my longer piece for the sides. And what I do now that I've got this done, and what I have done is I turn around and I take my panel that has the sides on it, and I like to make sure that I have the center of my fabric, and I iron it right there. Fold it and iron it so it's right in the center. So that's a guide for you to turn around, and this is my long side that I work with. As you can see, this is my long piece that's for the sides. And what I have done is I turn around and taken the iron, folded it so I could crease it so I know that is exactly in the middle, so that you don't have any questions on if you made this one side too long or not. Sometimes if you cut the panel wrong, you would encounter that. So I turn around and I've taken my panel, and I'll turn around and I'll fold it so that we know exactly where that goes. And then I would take it to the iron and I put a little crease in it. Now that would give me a guide to go by. I turn around, put this one here. The long side is always facing towards the shorter sides is the out. You take your two creases like that, and you put them together, and you pin. And I pin from the center and then go to the sides, so that if there is a problem where this one piece is longer than it should be, it shouldn't be if you did all the measurements correctly by the pattern, but you never know. Pat has known to make a mistake here and there, so I always want to be sure that I've got myself covered. You turn around and see, look at that, works out perfectly. Comes right to the end where it's supposed to be. So let me take a minute and finish pinning this side, and then we'll get back to the sewing machine, and we'll have this done in no time. See, now you have both sides done. So now we're going to do the same thing. See now that we've got the sides done, and I just did the top and the bottom. I sewed them together. See how that is? Now we're almost done. The last step is to get the border And I sewed the border. This is the coolest border fabric going, isn't it? And I sewed the strips all ready together. I opened the seams and ironed them out, and now we're just going to sit down and start sewing all around the quilt. And there you go. There is your quilt top all done. Isn't that pretty? I just love this print. And we have a lot more border print, or actually panels coming in for different things. And then you can always do it this way, or as I said with the pattern, it has 2 other choices of how to put your borders on. Isn't that great? Everyone stay safe, and we'll soon see you all. Take care.
Okay, there's another version, and this was the original.
And this is just fabric. It was not a panel, it was just fabric.
Beautiful. All right, say goodnight, Pat.
Good night.